What's up, folks? I'm Odd, by the way. You might notice that I'm a little bit more low-key today. I figured that today would be an interesting attempt at doing kind of a semi-live draw with me. I mean, obviously this is pre-recorded, but I just mean in exact time. And yeah, I thought that it would be interesting to try and make a drawing and just go through my whole process normally and not edit it very much. Obviously, like, if I wind up having to go to the bathroom or something like that, or take out my mug of coffee or anything like that, I'll probably cut that out of the video. But overall, I just want this to be kind of like a chill draw with me, sort of, I guess almost ASMR-like body doubling sort of experiment, and see how people enjoy that, because I don't know, sometimes I like to have things that are like creative drawing while I draw. So when I have like an exact artistic process, and this is probably going to range anywhere from like 1.5 to 3 hours knowing me. So yeah, I'm not going to try to rush myself too much or anything like that, and I might not even try to fully talk all that much about what I'm doing, but I'll try my best, because I want to, and you know, that's part of it. But it may not be as punchy and entertaining as I usually try to make my videos, and I know I'm, you know, wild in most of my videos, but I figured that it would be fun to try and just do something a little bit more low-key. In this case, I'm going to be drawing something relative to my my original characters that I've been working with for a while. You've probably seen them on and off on my channel for a series idea that I have called Thrakos, and these two have been in my head for years, and I've been trying to make a comic or something, but it hasn't really come to fruition yet. But yeah, so we're going to be drawing these three characters. We got Aramis, Phoenix, and Glenn, and yes, I did kind of just make these two references recently for this piece, really. I just made Phoenix's earlier, and yeah, I felt like that it would be a good idea to do something like a full piece with them again. It's been a minute, and I've been learning, you know, more about how to draw people, so I thought that it would be fun. I got coffee with me. I'm gonna set it down very gently. There we go. And yeah, we're just gonna get started, and I think that I'm gonna try and thumbnail out some stuff and just have a good time. Hopefully you can hear some of the scratchiness that comes from my pen and all that, but we'll have to see. I have my gain turned up a little bit, so it's a bit more chill, a bit more ASMR-y, and I know that I have this tendency that when I'm like saying what I'm doing, I'll actually kind of talk underneath my breath, and so maybe this will actually pick it up. I try my hardest to, you know, directly describe what I'm doing now, but it's still a habit. But yeah, I just wanted to have these three characters, who are kind of pretty main titular characters of the story, hanging out together, kind of looking up at the sky. I think that would be a fun drawing to make. So I'm gonna try and sketch that out, like thumbnail it first, to give you an idea and give myself an idea what we're working with. Let's see. Get a little rectangle here. Thinking like Phoenix on the left, Aramis on the right, maybe like this. Maybe it's smaller or something. Thinking kind of a, I guess like a Lion King, like Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba all sitting together. And we just got like Glenn's doing his whole like, got his feetsies up in the air or something, you know? He's just chilling. It's cute. But yeah, this is usually like, I just wind up thumbnailing little stick people to start with, and it helps get like the positions and stuff like that in. And I might even do stuff like this where I have like exaggerated expressions. Phoenix isn't really looking at the stars. Totally professional hair. I'm not sure if I want to have Glenn up or sleeping. I think I'll have him awake as well. And sort of just like grass around them, right? Yeah. It looks nice. It's a little dopey, it's a little cartoony, but that's just the first like pass at the sketch, the thumbnail. I'm just gonna make this bigger. I forgot. I was playing around without the aspect ratio kept locked, and I need that back on. Sometimes if I want to like squash and stretch some faces, I'll make sure that it's like that. Also, sorry with the gain up if you hear any like cars in the background. I might try and make it voice isolated, but I might also not. I'm not sure. Regardless, you might hear some background stuff, and yeah, I live right on a busy street, so trying to mute those sort of noises is a little annoying. Especially for a video like this where I'm trying to do a little bit more of a, you know, high sensitivity, you can hear everything ASMR situation. But that's okay. I like this. Okay. Drop it to here, I think. Yeah. Where does that leave that actually size-wise? 2816 by 2072. Okay. And then yeah, I got my birdie here. You ever nickname your OCs? Like, this is like I guess her in-story nickname is also Birdie, but I always refer to Phoenix as Birdie way more than any of her friends really would. I might try and draw their hair. I mean, like, Phoenix's bangs can basically stay where they are. They're not going to move very much, but maybe make her hair kind of wild up against the grass. And yeah, and speaking of comics and stuff like that, I don't know if anyone remembers when I was talking about making that comic Servid Manor. I am working on it still, definitely, but it's it's taken a bit of a different turn in terms of like drafting and all that. I thought that I had most of it written and then I didn't like it anymore, so I I rewrote it twice. And now I feel like that I need to do like more character sheets and maybe even redraw that cover again. It's a whole situation, but it'll be there eventually. I was sitting there like, oh, oh, it's going to be a relatively short story, but then it doesn't turn out that way, so yeah. I've always been kind of a long form type of person, and I mean, it's still going to be pretty short of a story compared to some of my other stuff, but I think that I didn't really consider it. I'm gonna make this bigger because I don't think that they're taking enough space up in this scene. And obviously we're gonna have Glenn up there, but he's relatively small. And yeah, Glenn, I haven't drawn in a minute because I've been learning how to draw people. I used to draw him almost exclusively, and now I feel like I don't fully know what he looks like anymore. So I went back and drew a little bit of him. He's a drake fox, so it's got the horns and all that. Basically, another, like, imaginary, well, imaginary, like, obviously it's all imaginary, but, like, another creature. I'm gonna make this, actually, this sketch just a little bit bigger inside. I mean, obviously, this doesn't need to be exact the way that it is. This is just the undersketch. But yeah, Glenn used to be the one that I would draw the most, and because he's a drake fox, in this it's like he's the drakes are the, you know, the cousins of dragons. Isn't it, like Drake the person? They're wingless dragons, and in this world they can imitate human speech because they're basically like birds. And the drake fox is capable of both imitating and kind of understanding human speech because they've got that big old mammal brain. And Glenn, of course, is a bit more human influenced, so he's a bit more intelligent than I think your average drake fox, and he can speak quite a few languages and all that. Still got the cognitive ability, not the cognitive ability, but like the cognitive age, and I mean the physical age. Really, he kind of slowed in aging once he reached relative maturity of a 13-year-old. So he's still growing. He's Phoenix's adoptive little brother, essentially, and also like her familiar because she's a magic user in this world. I'm just gonna go in with like actual skeletal structures again because this is silly. Obviously I needed to because that's just the sketch thumbnail. I want them to be closer. Aramis is taller than Phoenix. Way taller, actually. But they're laying down, so it doesn't need to be exact. Trying to figure out their poses here. gesticulating about something. Phoenix is looking over. I draw the little skull cages, and then I wound up never really like using them to the full degree that I think you're supposed to. They're just kind of there for emotional support. But they help, I think. They help with like mapping out the brows and all that. It's just like I keep moving around the facial structures, trying to find what suits my style best. Because humans are still a little bit of a mystery to me. This angle, kind of. Phoenix has sort of a small head for her size, for her size, but just a small. She's small. Don't tell her I said that. She's got a little bit of a Napoleon complex, but we love her. I was drawing my characters with such big eyebrows because I have them. It's like, I want Phoenix to have relatively, you know, slim features, and I just give her the biggest eyebrows I can. I feel like I need to move her chin. See, this is where my lack of using the orbs comes in. I know that there are other methods that you can use to kind of better implement the skeletal structures, and I'm learning them slowly. I might have Phoenix like fully lounging and just have her have one hand like here. Yeah, that feels like her. Yeah, I've always wanted Fractos to have like Wild Westish kind of vibes. That's definitely like the era that I'm going for. So it's 1800s, which, you know, Victorian is a pretty common aesthetic, but it's like specifically that kind of like Wild West American vibe. That's cute. That's a cute Phoenix face. Like, I might need to make them bigger still, but that's okay. I'll do that once I have them more sorted out. Phoenix takes me the type that doesn't fully relax a lot, but maybe that she looks it. You know? Like, she's actively on edge, but you just can't really tell a lot of the time. I feel like I have that sometimes, sort of a resting, calm face, a resting chill, and then you go into my brain and it's just, ah! It's because I'm putting all of my mental effort into freaking out and not into physically freaking out. I don't know. trying to sit down my coffee mug very silently. Almost too big here. I guess I'll have to see. And these two are pretty stark opposites. It's like a big and small, round and spiky, more or less feminine. I won't say that Aramis is completely feminine, because she's not, like, she's definitely trying to break a few glass ceilings, but she's got the feminine aesthetic. Which is really all it is at the end of the day. Yeah, I drew her with this cap on because it's a part of like the first arc, a part of her outfit, and then it kind of goes away. So, but I felt like I needed to learn how to draw it because I knew that it was going to be some part of her character for a little bit, but she's not going to be wearing it in this. She's relaxing. She's got her hair relatively down. She always kind of has it in this like side ponytail. Oh, what are boobs? I don't really have them, so it's not my best talent. She's sort of telling old constellation stories, kind of pointing them out. Because the whole vibe of the story is kind of like, at least starts out as like kind of a coming of age for Aramis. Because she goes out onto her own and she's from like this, you know, relatively settled, modern-ish, I mean, as modern as it is for that period of time, area, and goes into what they call the Unfound, which is considerably more Wild West-ish, you know? And that's where she meets Phoenix, who lives there. And the two wind up having to travel together and kind of learning about perspectives and all that, alongside the rest of the story. But Aramis is definitely a bit more like, I'd say like book smart is the term, you know? Like, so she's definitely a bit more of an academic, and she's training to be a blacksmith, so like I said, you know, glass ceilings and all that, but she's still very sheltered. So, you know, meanwhile, Phoenix is focused a lot on the now. Although she is actually quite a nerd. She's mostly book learned on magic. Mm. And yeah, she's so she's a nerd about all things like nature and magic and stuff like that. But anything else, and she's a little bit less knowledgeable. So I could see like Aramis being into the lore aspect of things and Phoenix not immediately knowing about it. I'm turning around for Glenn. I'm gonna have him more by Phoenix because that makes sense. I might have his eyes closed. Get that big puppy smile. He's a fox, but you know what I mean. Mm. He can have puppy smile and have his eyes open. Before I've always written it or had it that he goes onto Phoenix's shoulder a lot, but I think that he's like canonically he's too big now. Like before I've had him be much smaller. I guess he's not that big, but I think it would still be uncomfortable. He's he's dog sized. He's built more like a canid than he is a cat or anything like that. And they're the more likely to have shoulder time. He was heavily inspired early on by Inkheart and what was it, Quinn? His name is very similar as well because of that. But obviously his character has changed quite a bit since then. And he's more than just the horns. He's a little chatterbox. Little brother type. Might work on the girl's eyes again a little bit more. Go on into another sketch layer. feel like their noses are too big. Especially when it comes to people, I'm so particularly borked with my facial proportions. Just scooch all that up. Just make it smaller and smaller until it looks more people-like. And take a look at this as well. Nice. Can't have people know we care. I don't like that. I was done with it. I think this eye's too big. Looks better. Rotate both of them a little bit more. Cut this. Just need to rotate them more. Like, make her face smaller, even. That's getting better already. Kind of smallish nose. And then you definitely need to make her face smaller if that's the case. Give myself too much room on my faces, I think. They fiddle with their faces forever. I don't want to. I let myself be satisfied at some point or another. And this will probably continue into me making my lines. That looks nice though. I like that. I'm not gonna like it once I make the lines smaller. That's just how it gets. I guess I could make it the same line width all throughout, but I don't know, I like this. I like the thicker sketch lines. Allows for something. I don't know what. Just more coverage, I guess. Her neck is too long compared to her. Because I made the head so small. That's Aramis. Actually save this now. Because I always forget to do it until like I'm almost done, and I shouldn't do that. What should I call this? Still let my intentions be known. Is her mouth still too low down? Yeah, but I don't think her chin is. I think her chin is fine. Hold on. That doesn't look too bad. It's a little wide on the one side. I very rarely flip my canvas, and I should more. So I'm doing it for you guys. Wow, you're like, please don't when you're speed painting. That's probably part of the issue. That would be a little bit difficult to do in speed paint. That's better. Bring this down so lips aren't that thick. It's cute as it looks. That's better. I'm gonna flip this back. It's gonna look weird, but that's okay. Aramis's face does not look good. Where it is. That's fine. Phoenix looks better. So I think I just give myself too much space in my faces. Face space. And I just by default make the eyes probably way too huge. Even for the kind of stylized look that I'm going for. Looping. Horizontal. That looks fine. Look at that. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. It's not even wonky. Cool. It's, however, smaller than when we started. Yeah, in their references, I kind of shorthand, like, reflections in the eyes with just not fully coloring in the pupils. But I might change that for this one and have it be actual reflections, because it's a more full piece. Your face looks even, but does it look weird? Can't tell. I think it kind of does. Your eyes need to be even closer together. That's better. It's a moon night, stars are out, and we're just chatting about life. That sounds like a good day. I don't know, this kind of bustier bag is something that you would like wear over something. Just that looked cute. Sort of unfurling your hand, I think that would be cute. Like so. This might be after Aramis changes to her flowy pants, because that's cute. She just kind of turns her skirt into pants to get around better later on. It's a little bit bigger. Scooch her closer. Use a blend sketch a bit more centered between the two of them. He's mostly based off of a snow fox, Arctic fox. So I wanted this kind of winter coat vibe, and also because he's mostly like brown and brown, brown and white. It made sense for his vibes. Arctic foxes have a slightly different vibe than your standard red fox, just a little bit. They have slightly, like, they have different faces. It's hard to explain. They're a bit, like, flatter. But it kind of adds to the whole, like, dragon-y Drake vibe that Glenn's supposed to have going on. He's got this little heart marking on his chest. He's just doing that full, like, cozy animal vibe with his feet all splayed out, body going in 7 different directions. He's got kind of a prehensile tail, so he can do stuff with it. He can control it. It does make more sense vertical. I think it might. I mean, probably be mostly like square, but just thinner. Like that? Alright, I've got this sketch mostly sorted out. Now onto the time. then I probably will spend the most silent, which is the, the line work. Is her head still too big? Frames, I think. Dog's barking. That's better. My room is a sound trap. Alright, since I've been fiddling with Phoenix's face so much, I think I'm gonna start there just so that I can get it out of the way. And I forgot to make any layer. Try another pen. Let's see, I don't know if I like. I'm gonna shut my door all the way. You can still hear him. Play around with different brushes here. See what I like. Some syrup. See, I don't know if I do like the line weight though. It's very smooth. Give it a try. Maybe her nose was too big. Maybe that was the problem. I just need to scooch her eyes even closer together. That makes sense. She's got small features. It's supposed to be small but sharp. Nostrils kind of flare up a little bit. That. We're good now. particularly. It's not bad. Phoenix has kind of hooded eyes. Aramis has got kind of a monolid situation going on. Phoenix definitely is a victim of the RBF more often than not, although she is also, in fact, the resting bitch a lot of the time, so. She can be grumpy, but she can be happy too. My lines turn out a little sketchy. It's not the end of the world because it's just the way that my art tends to go anyway. I think I just made her hair too big too. Just kind of scooch that down, I think. Maybe you can size it down a little. Maybe let's not include the ear in there. We can. That's slightly better. So, you know, compared to this one, I still look a little too big, I think. Sorry. I'm sorry. Does it look good though? The eyes themselves look good. They're just maybe they're too big. Can't tell. I can, but I just need to be rotated a little bit. I'm making myself even more subconscious or self-conscious with the whole aspect of knowing that this is all going to be out there and not just a sped up version. Not that I don't fiddle around like this in my speed paints as well. I think that it's just it's just my habit. I think she has too much forehead, so I'm gonna scooch this. I'm sorry for. Well, I guess I'm not sorry, but it's just my process. And I'm very particular with these characters. I just wish this could be more like deliberate and quick, you know? But I'm second guessing myself a lot. And sometimes it takes milliseconds, and sometimes I can draw their faces all day and just feel like I'm not getting it. You know? Maybe that's my bad. Maybe I need to be better about learning how to draw their faces and how I design them. It doesn't help that I'm using another pen, actually, does it? Feels like the pen kind of changes the style. Just a little. Offers a different approach. Which, I mean, I was going to go for anyway, but... I don't know, it makes me a little mad. I can't duplicate something the way that I want to. See, I think 5 with 0 is just too thick for me. 3 feels better. Yeah, I felt like I was just not pressing enough, whatever. Which I could do with being less heavy-handed, but... Now I feel like I've made her neck too long again. It does look nice. Okay. Looks fine. Odd. We can leave it be. We can leave it be. It also feels like every time that I sit down to do like a bigger piece, I'm like, what is my style again? I'm just so used to doodling, just drawing things, like, and I know that, like, yeah, you could just technically do that all the other times too. But I don't know, there's something about intently making a piece that makes things feel more difficult, even if they're not. He tends to wear like oversized clothes. It's kind of her vibe. I mean, most things are oversized on her, so I assume it's hard to find anything that fits relatively well. Especially if you're wearing more masculine clothes in an age where they are not made for women. She does her best. I feel like that body shot of her in that reference I already don't like. My human style is rapidly evolving and changing every day. By that I mean it's kind of inconsistent. I'm still learning. Oops. Go like this. See that makes more sense given that she's kind of stretching out that way. It'd be a little different. Be kind of like crooked. Yeah. Be lower down. I am getting pretty proud of like where I'm getting with hands. They're not perfect by any measure, but I am feeling better about them. First knuckle. Yes, I'm referencing my own hands. That, and then I'm immediately like, oh god, how do I hand? It's okay, we'll just stitch it out again. It is a pentagon. That thumb tucked up kind of behind the main hand. Woo! I'm definitely gonna need to redo this hand because it's not looking good. See it? Aramis's nose smaller too. More me. Looks better. There's the face then, doesn't it? Let's just go from here. Scooch all this in. So big. And as you can see, I've gone completely silent again. I'm gonna center on her face real quick. Just so I can get that ankle better. That's better. Aramis's eyebrows I can color in black because her hair is black. And that's what I usually do. Can be aware of the fact that she has that dead mom haircut, okay, but she's fine. She'll be fine. Her face isn't even. I think that looks better. And I might also smush her face down a little bit more again. There's notifications on my phone. Aramis has got them big poofy sleeves. They're not my favorite, but they do kind of fit the thematic vibe. And they're cute. They are cute. It's just this is not something I would wear. I'm never sure what is their final vibe. They always look different in my head. You know? And they tend not to want to come out the way that I have them there. But I'm definitely getting closer. I think Aramis has blunter hands and fingers than Phoenix. Alright, humans are done. On to the Foxy Boy. The Drake Foxy Boy. letting Cyrus's take up his entire eye side like a little bit, so I don't need to worry too much about where they go. Of course, his horns are off every single time. But like I fixed them before, and then I didn't, and then now they look completely off center. And again, so does his head. Hmm. There we go. That looks better. Relative this paw, that paw's too small. Maybe I just... Yeah. Foxes have big old paws, especially Arctic foxes. Gotta get that snowshoe effect, right? The moment it kind of looks like the Aramis is pointing at Glenn's tail, but he's laying down with them, okay? Those little arm spikies in there. Important Drake biology. Here we go. The little boy. Oh, he looks silly. He's so cute. Okay. That is good. Now we do Shuang. Make sure that nothing is not closed. I think we're good. Alright, I'll go back and fix it myself. Just gonna fill this with a base color. Okay. I probably should also work on like a small background. Don't like this size, but the shape. This nose is kind of looking a little too rounded for me. Clean that up a little bit. She's got a bigger nose, but not like bulbous or rounded, you know? It's good. move Glenn closer to the middle of them, actually. Okay. Not really. Tail's in the way. That's fine. Maybe just like down a little. And rotate. Down. Rotate. That's better. He's framing them better. It's cute. Alright, let's consider the background for a moment. It's not going to be very detailed, it's just going to be some grays. Like, we want to go about this. Some sort of a blob shape around all of them. And then all the grass there around is kind of lying down and pushing other blades down. It's even all that long. Might fill it in with like what I would expect to be like the normal colors during the daytime, and then maybe like color it or even like gradient map it differently later. See if I can better. Turn. Would that work? Would you? Button. Keep pressing the wrong button. That's okay. I keep pressing the zoom in, zoom out button instead of the rotate button like I want. One second, I think the cat wants in. Oh, thanks. Come on, Babs. I won't deny my Kelsey inside during this long recording session because I'm sure she's not used to it. And she's a very spoiled baby, so she gets what she wants. Do the lighter grass. Just outside. Differently. Again, keep pressing the wrong button. It's good. I might blur it a little bit. That's good. Let's duplicate, perhaps. That. Duplicate view, filter, percussion blur. That looks nice. I might together, and then sort of change the colors a little bit. Yeah.
is sort of blend out the space in the middle here.
Hey, Mom.
No pick up, baby love.
Yeah. That's looking better, I think. It's less like a solid piece and more.
No.
Yeah. Sort of play around with the
Blur on this grass until it starts looking relatively nice. I'm sorry if you can hear life happening outside of my room.
yes.
Looks nice. Oh my god, this room is such a sound trap. Dad, you're so loud.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know if you're gonna be able to like hear it. Hopefully you won't. It's just that there's so many people in my household, and of course it's
Ranging into the nighttime, so everybody's a little louder than they could be. I'll put her vest in the wrong direction here. Wonder it looks weird.
my dad is
Describing 30 Rock to my grandmother.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine Phoenix wears like a little belt underneath here. You just don't see it very often. This was definitely a bit more of a rushed piece. Again, I was using it basically for this, because it's been a minute since I've drawn either of them, but especially Aramis. So I draw Phoenix pretty regularly.
You want a little one? You just gonna chill there?
Okay. Kitten was asking, looked like she was asking me to go out, but then she's fine. And I meant to do more detailing, like on this, which I might hear. This is just a rough reference. I'll get everything out there first, though. She's not going to be wearing her hat for this one. Somewhere else. Let's go like here. Yeah, looks nice. Should have a mouth reference for her, so I will use it. Wrong things. The intent for this to be like stargazing, and right now it just looks like perfectly fine midday. I'll do it up in a moment. Bit more support. My girl needs it. Phoenix, like me, likely doesn't need to be too worried about, you know, bra, underwear, support situation, but I think Aramis does. I almost did that on the line layer. Don't mind me.
coloring lens beats.
Yeah, this is my favorite method of coloring, by the way. I've got this set to a reference layer, the line work here, right? And then just a layer below, I've got my bucket fill tool set to refer to reference layer, so it will refer to the outlines instead of the rest of the painting, picture, drawing, whatever. And it's very handy for flats because I don't like flatting. Normally, this makes it better.
Go back and forth for a second here, make sure I'm getting Glenn right.
Oh,
He has some little ends on his palms. Kind of in the Red Fox style. He's a fantasy creature, he can be whatever he pleases to be.
it's fun designing fantasy creatures.
That looks good.
Okay, before I continue, I'm gonna try to okay. Now duplicate each of these and play around with the colors. Journal correction gradient map. And I might do the same for this one, and then I'm gonna play around with layer stuff. Whew. And multiply? I think that's good. I'll do the same here. 50. That looks nightimey, doesn't it? Let's see what normal looks like, actually. That might be better. No, I like this, I think. Yeah. Might even add some more dark tones to like the eye whites here. Tone those down a little bit. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now we can start kind of going in with shading. Try this with red, I think. I want to add some skin details for Phoenix later too. I'll do that when I'm done shading, I think. Both of them, really. Just remember hearing somewhere or other that you kind of want the opposite tone of shading for whatever environment you're going for. So a cool environment is going to have warmer shading and vice versa. I don't know how true that is, but I'm inclined to believe it. Yeah, do you want out? You want me? Oh. You want me to let you out, little one? You want to leave? You want to leave? There you go. That was Grim. You can tell the difference between her and Tulsi because Tulsi screams and Grim goes, ah! This is gonna look good. I'm happy. And yes, I tend to keep my my layers from being multiplied until I'm done shading. It's like a nice little surprise. Also, it helps me remember where I am and what color I'm using. Zero is nice because it's not fully opaque, although that's not great for erasing. Which I tend to just erase with the brush on transparent that I'm using. It's okay, it's there eventually.
Yes, these two are absolutely red and blue motif up the wazoo, but you know what, it's fine. And it's probably on the other way around, because I think Aramis starts to embrace the green a little bit more later on, but that's still the opposite color of pink, so they still have that dynamic, but it's great. And to make 3D shapes out of 2D shapes like that. I feel like I'm in full focus mode again. I apologize. It's a little boring. But, I mean, I guess it's supposed to be chill, calming. I should probably be doing this on different layers because they all have such different color schemes. But I'll try it out this way first and see if I like it. Here's that one. It wasn't cut right here. It was just hidden. Not a delightful siren. Oof. Finally it passes. So that's probably like the fire chief or something. I don't know. Sometimes they just like making noises. They're just like playing with their equipment. You live by a busy street, you hear all the sirens, apparently, that are humanly possible. At some point or another, I should probably try and set up like a little soundproof cave, but at the moment, that is not physically possible. There's just not enough space for literally anything. So, I'm dealing with what I got. It should be pretty good. I'm gonna bring in paint and apply actually on some of these little areas. Just a couple to make it look more smooth. One of my favorite, like, stock Clip Studio brushes. There's a good couple few of them that I like, really, but this one is probably my favorite. It just looks nice. It doesn't even need to be that bright because it's nighttime. Shadows should be pretty muted. We're just working on star and moonlight here. Now, does it make sense to add highlights to some degree? Maybe a little bit. Definitely not very much. I am not a Subtle woman. Especially Aramis's hair. I can barely even see the lines. Actually, I do need to go back in and add some skin details in this layer. Maybe the layer just above. It's too dark. I picked up this freckle spray. I don't even know when. Don't exactly know what it's called. Showing up. Wrong there. Oh, it's better. Aramis, use a little bit of a blush. Came to play again. Nice. Might even run over this and just sort of can I intensity of this just trace over some areas. Very careful with this brush. Doesn't want to stay light. Maybe it's just my pen. My gosh, I'm so focused. I don't mean to be this silent, I don't think. No. I also forgot Aramis's scars on her hand. I should put those there. He has sort of a skin tone and this spiderweb pattern on her knuckles. Just a little bit now. That's good. I think that's the wrong hand. So maybe it doesn't matter. She's left-handed, so whether they're facing, that would be her right hand. Just sort of have them peek out from over here. can't even really see them. That's okay. Do some fleckies in their eyes. Wait, actually, put that above the line there. Is overlapping anything? Mm-hmm. Another layer. I want those stars. Super cool. Cool. How long have you been here? Oh. Just about as long as I said we would be. Let's see. Duplicate this layer. Still go for blue. That makes sense for the scene. So not use the spray tool. And then this is another favorite little trick of mine. You just overlap this whole second, duplicate your line layers. Right? Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I'll crank it up to like 8. It doesn't need to be very much. And then you just lower the opacity again. You get kind of a softness and a color to the lines that looks very nice, I think. So, definitely not my trick. I've learned that from someone else years ago, I'm sure. I don't know exactly who, so I won't say. Actually, do I want... there would be much reflective light. It's nighttime. I think we're good. I'm gonna add like a noise layer. Noise. This also just makes things look nicer. I don't exactly know why. let it do. It just gives everything that kind of texture. You know? It doesn't need to be very high at all. That's cute. That's cute. I'll just sign this baby off. I hope that you liked this video. This is definitely going to be a different approach. And I hope I don't hate it in the future. And I hope that it brought some good vibes. Gave you some good... bigger. Here. I don't even know. There. Now it's touching all of mm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I hope that you like this video and the way that it will hopefully turn out. I might... Oh my god. Somebody stop me, but I'm gonna keep doing stuff. Actually, I'm gonna keep fiddling with it. But I'll sign off as I'm doing it. Hope that you like this video. I hope that it brings you joy to some degree, and I hope that it, I don't know, helps you focus or anything of that matter. Do a little overlay like that. Do you like that? I think I like that. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and yeah, you can give it a like if you liked it, subscribe for more, maybe more fast-paced videos, but, you know, I could do these every once in a while, especially if people like it, you know. It was nice to just kind of hang out and talk a little bit, mainly focus on a drawing. I hope that this was somewhat satisfying and nice to watch. I hope that not too many noises got in. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave this here. A little bit of an experiment. And at that, I will see y'all next time. And I'll leave you with this piece.